Guys, welcome to a bit of a different World Cup daily recap because I am in Toronto because I went to the Portugal versus Croatia game. What a fantastic choice that was. Fantastic. Lost my voice though. I guess there are other matches too, but look, I'm going to be real with you. I didn't see them. I have never been to the World Cup before, so I fully immersed myself in it. I met up with friends. I finally linked up with the legend, HRV Isaac. It was time for a little me time, you know, but don't worry. With today's matches, we're back nose to the grindstone, okay? Run the intro. Now, of course, guys, Spain took on Austria, but just so you know, I could not watch this game. But I figured for those who at least want to know what happened results-wise, I'd say the expected result here, Mikel Oyarzabal with a brace, he's really adding a lot to their team in this tournament because remember, he was not the starter for Euro 2024. He's been in incredible form this past season and clearly that continued. I expected a bit more from Austria though, caught the highlights, wasn't many of them for them. Algeria and Switzerland, that score will show up on the side, the final one it is, because I am falling asleep currently and I cannot stay up another second longer as I'm recording. Switzerland are leading 2-0 now. I've been up since 5 a.m. and I have to get up at 5 a.m. for my train, so I'm sorry to Switzerland and Algeria, but I simply cannot stay awake any longer and I need to shower. This thing is disgusting. Disgusting. I can't even speak. I mean, it's a heat wave here, so you can imagine what that did to everybody. Now, this match, Portugal versus Croatia. I've never been to a World Cup match, but I've covered it pretty exhaustively in 2018, 2022, and 2026, and I didn't expect to go to a World Cup game in this tournament either. But with the way things played out, with Portugal ending up in Toronto, a 5-hour train ride away from me. I mean, it's in my own country still, in a knockout round match, which if Portugal were to lose, would be Cristiano Ronaldo's final match. My final chance to see one of the greatest players of the sport live. So why not go to that? So I said, man, and I paid way too much money to get into this match. No brand deal, nothing. My own hard-earned World Cup daily recap money. But yeah, it wasn't just Ronaldo who we would see for the last time potentially, Luka Modric as well. So here we are. And man, the Portuguese community in Toronto showed up. Their march to the stadium was unbelievable. I didn't attend the entirety of it, but you can see from this video I got just how vast it was. Unbelievable stuff from them. I also checked out the Croatian march. Small potatoes, my friend. Easily infiltrated. Infiltrator. Look at this infiltrator. Was finished walking through it in seconds, but everyone was super nice, of course. Anyway, not many changes for Portugal, except for Rafael Leão starting on the left, which made me think, wow, are we really going to try to play with speed and go at these guys? Is this something new? Unfortunately, no, because what have we seen time and time again under Roberto Martinez? Sideways and backwards football, and I can confirm that seeing it live is just as frustrating as on the television. Even the Croatians next to me were getting frustrated in seeing how Portugal's wingers would just run and then stop and pass backwards. Even they were getting bored. Also, how Vitinha was operating essentially as a left back so that Nuno Mendes could tuck inside. But of course, I mean, this is Roberto Martinez's approach. It's nothing really new, right? When Portugal comes up against teams that sit low, which Croatia were sitting very deep in the first half, Portugal doesn't really have an answer to them. They don't bother trying anything new, and Ronaldo is completely isolated. Part of that is on him, of not making himself more available more often or making creative runs, but most of it is on Roberto Martinez and his preferred way of playing. Because you'll notice in the second half, when Croatia played more open, Portugal played far better. When teams play football, Portugal is more dangerous. But wow, what a second half. You had Croatia scoring how many goals in this half and only one stuck? Was it 3 or 4? But Croatia were causing issues, especially down their left, Portugal's right. It's no wonder João Cancelo was hooked. It felt like Croatia were torching Portugal down that side every time they attacked, and suddenly every ball through the box had me nervous. It felt like there was a huge chance it would meet a Croatian in the box, and it happened in the 53rd minute. One of the classics on this Croatian team, Ivan Perisic, slapping a left-footed strike low past Diogo Costa, and how they started, and how light Portugal's back line looked in that half. It felt inevitable, and as you can see from the highlights, Croatia would find a lot of joy in attacking Portugal's back line. But that lift that Portugal gets when teams play a little bit higher, Ronaldo gets that lift as well. He scored a beautiful goal from a ball over the top, taking one touch and then smartly finishing past Livakovic, but it was offside. So damn close, just the edge of his shoulder basically. But Portugal get a penalty later. Hard to tell what it was given for in the stadium. I gotta be honest, I had no idea until I got back to the hotel here. But Renato Vega was dragged down and a penalty was given for that. Now, I'm not a religious dude, but this video I got, which we can't show, I don't think, because Gianni will suplex me. But here's a still from it, and with this game being on the anniversary of Diogo Jota's passing, with this ethereal flare effect from the sun, I don't know, man, it felt spiritual. DJ21 smiling down on this game, and Ronaldo converted from the penalty spot. Asu! In Toronto. What's interesting though is that after Portugal had gone down 1-0, so before the penalty, Martinez made 4 subs at once. Vitinha, Pedro Neto, Bruno Fernandes, and João Cancelo all off. Felt like a desperation move. 4 at once? And from here onward, I mean, the entire second half is just a blur of offside goals that were cancelled for Croatia. And then the 81st minute, Ronaldo subbed off, which shocked me. I didn't think Martinez would ever do that with Ronaldo. I thought he was a lock to stay on forever, but with Gonçalo Ramos coming on earlier in the match, he wanted to shore up the midfield a little bit, so he brought on Ruben Neves for Ronaldo. Probably a good call, as Croatia were countering so easily, it felt like, and, you know, Ronaldo doesn't need to play the entirety of every match, but in the 94th minute, an attack from Portugal, Rafael Leão whipped it in with a glancing header from Gonçalo Ramos for 2-1, absolute elation. With all those stoppages, though, this match, it just never ended. 10 minutes of added time. Then Croatia score again in the 13th minute of added time. 13th of 10. What is going on here? Nobody knows what's happening. Pasalic looked like he was miles offside, but it was so hard to tell what was happening in the stadium. I now know that it is only offside because Matanovic is judged to have gotten like a hair on the ball, thus making Pasalic offside. Pretty close. That's the official ruling. And so Portugal win. Portugal win against Croatia. And I gotta say, there was noise like I've never heard in that stadium, which I was a part of because you can tell by my voice. If you want to follow me on Instagram, linked below, I have a few stories up where you can hear it yourself for the goals, but I'm also going to make a little match day video of my experience for over there. I might post it here too, we'll see. But in general, this was such a hard matchup. I feel strangely almost like Portugal will play even better in the next round against Spain because maybe I'm just exhausted and not thinking straight, but with how Spain want to play ball, Portugal can counter against them very well, I think, and maybe even get a win against them as they did in the Nations League final. It's going to be a fantastic matchup. But in general, I'm just feeling very lucky. Like, no, I didn't get in for free or anything. I got the honor of paying an extortionate price, but it's a privilege to be in this position. And it's a privilege to meet some of you guys who came up to me in Toronto. It was great to meet Isaac finally, a longtime Benfica friend, Cynthia and Mario, a dude who has the same name as me, Adrian Sousa, who used to get DMs all the time from people thinking he was me. All of these things. Portugal getting a win on Diogo Jota Day. I was just feeling a ton of appreciation for all of this, so thank you guys for watching. It means a lot. Is this even a good video though? I don't know, probably not, but we'll be back to normal soon, okay? Thank you guys once again for watching, and I'll see you in another video. And by the way, hydration breaks, better in the stadium. Better in the stadium. All right, later.